guys, what up and welcome back. So I told you that I had the Bite Beauty stuff coming, right? And it finally got here about 2 days ago. A little caveat right now though. So spring has finally sprung out here and two things are happening to me right now. Those of you who have been here for a while know that in the springtime, I have more lung issues because of inhaling the pollen. So that's happening right now. So I'm like a little bit weak and shaky. So there's that. And second, also, if you've been here, you know that once the pollen hits my face breaks out. So that's what I've been going through for the last couple of days. You can see some pimples here. That is all pollen. Anyway, I'm still going to be doing a 3-day wear test on this Bite Beauty Changemaker Micellar Foundation, Supercharged Micellar Foundation. I am going to change it up a little bit though because of what I purchased from Bite Beauty. So Bite Beauty debuted, I think probably like 2 months ago, this whole new Changemaker system. It includes a foundation, 2 different types of primers, and also finishing powders. On their website, you can get a set of all 3 items for $98. So that's what I did. I went to the website and I got it there, and also got a 20% off coupon for our first purchase. So I think I paid like, I think it was $78 all in all for everything. So yay. Now let me read some claims. Oh wait, first, wouldn't be me if I didn't drop something, right? Be right back. All right, picked it up. Here we go. So the foundation comes in 32 shades. The shade that I got is T135, which is described as, let's see, it is described as a tan with warm peach undertones. And okay, so I might have cheated a little bit. I tried it, and let me tell you something, y'all, the match is, you'll see. Anyway, it comes in 32 shades. The foundation is $39. And let me just read what it says real quick. If it would just like, yeah. What? Wait. Who? Okay. So it says, make the change. Finally, clean and high performance are no longer mutually exclusive. This creamy, long-wearing foundation perfects your skin with buildable medium coverage. The secret? We use antioxidant-rich superfood, maki berry, and gentle micellar technology that works with and feels good on your skin, even if you're sensitive. What's in it? Maki berry, antioxidant rich and helps nourish your complexion, native to Patagonia, known to be one of the purest environments on earth. Micellar technology, inspired by skincare, it gently mimics skin texture for a smooth, non-cakey look. All right, it's just saying how to apply it, and we're not going to pay attention to that because, like, we're just going to go ahead and do what we always do. Well, all right, so the primer, let me get to that right now. So I'm going to be doing a 3-day wear test. Usually, you know, on day 1, I use either the Tatcha or the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I can't find the e.l.f. one because I packed it away, so I've already applied the Tatcha. So that's what we're going to be using today. Tomorrow we'll be using, or well, not tomorrow, whenever I get around to it, because I think I have to work the next 2 days. But we will be using the Milk Makeup Primer. On the 3rd day, I usually use no primer. However, because my skin is going through stuff, you know, with the pollen, sorry, with the pollen, it's also producing more oil than normal. So if I use it on bare skin, it's just going to be a whole mess. I know that already. So I did wind up getting the primer from Bite Beauty, and I'm going to use the primer on the 3rd day. I was going to try it by itself, but no, we're not doing that because it's just going to be a mess. So there are 2 types of primers. There is the, what is this one? It's called the Changemaker Skin Optimizing Primer. It comes in either normal to dry, which is the hydrating one, or it comes in, wait, what? What's the other one? normal to oily, which is mattifying. Now, I tried the texture of this on my hand, and it's not your normal mattifying primer. It's actually a very nice feeling primer. So we will go ahead and try that on day number 3 with the powder. So today we're just going to go ahead and try the foundation. It comes in a squeeze tube. I love squeeze tubes, and I'm not even going to put it on the Ghetto mixing palette today. I'm actually just going to Instagram it and like put it on my face, because I don't want to be touching stuff, because I packed everything away, so all my cleaning stuff is in boxes, and I don't want my hands to be dirty. So I'm just going to Instagram it. So let's just go. So it does have like a bit of a smell. It's not a very strong smell. It's very light. It's not perfumey. It just smells like, I don't know, clean and kind of fresh. But do y'all see this coverage? I mean, not coverage. Do y'all see this match? All right, one side my face with the foundation, one side without. Like I said, do y'all see this match? Like, literally, it's like, do y'all see this? It's perfect. It is literally perfect. Like, it's not a whole lot of coverage. Like they said, it's medium coverage, which is fine because that's what I prefer. But it's literally, it literally looks like my skin. You can still see like a little bit of my imperfections peeking out on this side. It's natural radiant, I'd say. All right, let me just finish the rest of my face, the other side of my face, and then I'll come back. All right, I am back, and this is my entire face, my complete face, really, because this is all that I'm doing today. I'm actually not going anywhere at all today. Like, I think people going out constantly is just like, I don't, what is wrong with y'all? So I'm staying home. If I don't have to go out, I'm not trying to go out. So I'll be home all day. I did use the Chantecaille powder to set the foundation because it is a bit dewy, so I can feel it on my face, you guys know. It's a bit dewy or like radiant or whatever. And also in the springtime, you know, my face tends to get a little bit more sensitive to stuff because of the pollen. So I'm feeling everything on my face right now, but I'm not even going to pay that any attention. But yeah, this is what my face looks like. The match is brilliant. Oh my word. Yeah, man. Let's see how well this lasts. What time is it? It is now 10:51 a.m. Your girl's been up since 7:30 for God knows why. But yeah, I will see you back here later. Bye. Hey guys, what up? Welcome back. It is now 8:52 p.m. And as you can see, I am shiny. I am really, really shiny. But that, I believe, is for a couple of reasons. Number one, like I said, it's pollen season, so the pollen is falling on my face. And I was sitting outside, so it still got on my face. And when that happens, I tend to produce some more oil than I normally would. It is a little bit warm outside today as well. And I did wind up doing my makeup. You know, as you can see, I wound up doing my eyes. I was sitting here, I was like mad bored. But I also did wind up going out. So, and I didn't go out for anything non-essential. I had to go to the pharmacy to pick up my prescription. Usually I just kind of tough it out during spring, but I didn't want to do that this year. There's too much going on, so I'm trying to like keep myself as healthy as possible. So, and that includes, or rather that entails, you know, getting the medication that I know will stop my lungs from becoming overly congested, which, you know, kind of lowers your immune system. Anyway, long story short, I went to the pharmacy to pick up some medication. And yeah, this is what my face is looking like now. like I said, it's a couple of reasons. Number one, you know, the conditions outside, the pollen, but also this foundation is very, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It kind of feels like it never sets. I feel like if I blot it right now, like it kind of transfers a little bit. I feel like if I blot it right now, yeah, so like I blot it and it looks relatively decent, but then like that is what's on the paper towel. So I feel like it doesn't really set. Like a couple of times I scratched my face and it came off under my nails, which is never like a good thing. And I did actually go in after I used the Chantecaille powder, and I did use one of the Huda powders over it, and that powder is kind of very mattifying, and it still really didn't work. But like I'm not mad at the foundation for that, because once again, I feel like if my skin wasn't going through what it's going through right now, I wouldn't be quite as oily. So yeah, I'm not mad at it for that. But also, I don't know if you guys can tell, maybe from the lights you can't, but the foundation did oxidize it even a little bit darker than it was before. I feel like I could have gotten away with, I think it was the other peach undertone shade in the tan family. I think it was either 120 or 125. I'm not sure, which is another good thing for you guys out here that have peach undertones. Literally every range has at least one peach undertone in it. The tan and the medium range have two, and the dark range has one. I think 165 is a peach undertone as well, because I was looking at all of them on the website. So yeah, so those of you that have peach undertones, you're going to have at least one, maybe two to choose from, depending on which level of intensity you fall into. As for how the foundation held up, other than the oils and stuff, it still looks really good. It's not on my nose because, once again, it never stays on my nose. And also because I'm oily, so yeah, that's not going to happen. So the funny thing is, it's greasy in here, but it still looks pretty good around my mouth and on my forehead. But you guys know that I get oily in my U-zone right here. But it hasn't sunken into any of my lines or anything like that. It still looks good apart from the oiliness. So I'm like not writing this foundation off, because I feel like without, you know, mitigating factors, outside influences, if you will, it would have probably behaved well. Now, what does that mean for me trying to wear this in the summertime? If I wore this in the summertime, I would probably use Jackie Aina's method, her method of putting powder down before she puts the foundation on, just to give it a little bit more of a chance to last somewhat longer. So if I do wear it in the summertime, I would wear it that way. And I feel like this is a really nice foundation for the summer. I like the finish of it. It's dewy. Well, it's not dewy. It's radiant, but it's not like greasy looking, if you know what I mean. So far so good with this foundation. I really do like it. I'm enjoying it. And I will see you guys back here tomorrow for day number 2. Hey guys, what up, and welcome to day number 2 of wear testing the Bite Beauty Changemaker foundation. Today, as with every day 2, we are going to be using the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer, which I've already put on in the spirit of expediency. And I know I said that today was going to be, the second day was going to be, you know, like a no talk through, and I was going to go to work and test the foundation. But yo, I woke up at like 6 o'clock yesterday morning to go to work, and I could not get my face to act right. So I was just like, you know what, let me just do it tomorrow. So this is what we're doing today. I have already gotten 3 lines on the Ghetto Mixing palette, and we're just going to go in. One of the things that I think I missed by doing the Instagram method yesterday is like the texture of this foundation, and it's a very thick and kind of moussey foundation, and I'm really digging that. Alright guys, so here's one side of my face with the foundation, one side without, and I have to say, already there is a different overall look using this primer. It is still radiant, but it looks a bit more matte. It doesn't look quite as dewy as it did the other day. That could probably also be because my skin isn't quite as irritated as it was when we started out with this. For whatever reason, over the last day, I guess I've been inside a lot more, so the pollen hasn't been falling on my skin, so those little bumps that were there before aren't here now. And yeah, I think overall it's a much better application. It just looks smoother. Yeah, I think I like it better this way. Anyway, I'm going to finish off the rest of my face, and then I'll come back and we can talk about whatever other differences I've noticed so far. Alright guys, so here's my finished face. I did some light bronzing and contouring with the Guerlain Terracotta palette. For whatever reason, I am like sort of discouraged from doing bronzing and contouring with this foundation. I'm not really sure what it is. It might be because it oxidizes, which it did oxidize again just a little bit. It oxidized less than it did yesterday, but I guess the rest of the day we'll see how it what happens. And then I used the Guerlain Terracotta finishing powder, and this is what we have. So like I said, it does look a lot smoother than it did the other day. Not that it looked terrible the other day, it was fine. But there were a little bumps and hitches, and I think it was because the primer that I used, the Tatcha Primer, is a more skin tour cream primer, so sometimes things can like, because I have textured skin, sometimes, you know, it doesn't work all that well. The Milk Makeup Primer actually creates a complete barrier between your skin and the foundation, so it usually tends to be a little bit smoother. And one of the reasons why I prefer the e.l.f. primer to the Tatcha Primer, honestly, is because even though the e.l.f. primer is a dupe for the Tatcha Primer, I find that it does smooth and blur better than the Tatcha Primer does. And I'm actually going to get the liquid version of the Tatcha Primer because I want to see how it works. But Tatcha closed down all of their warehouses during this pandemic, so I don't know, maybe, I don't know, whenever. But anyway, I am getting a little bit of more settling in lines right here, right around, you know, my smile lines. But that is basically it. Once again, I cannot feel it on my face. It does have a slight scent. I don't know if I said that before. It's not unpleasant. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have ever used the what is it called? Bioderma micellar water. That's what it smells like. But yeah, this is my face. It is now pretty much 11:15 a.m. in the morning, and I will be back here later on so you guys can see. Did I just say guys? You guys? Alright, so I'll be back here later on so you guys can see how this foundation held up during the course of the day. Bye. Hey guys, what up? Welcome back. It is now, ooh, child, there is pollen all over my phone. It is now 10:35 p.m. in the evening, or 10:36. Anyway, so this is what my face looks like. Day number 2 using the Milk Makeup Primer. I'm sorry, my throat is like a little bit, I didn't go out today, but I have been back and forth outside in the pollen, so my throat is kind of like in pain, scratchy, whatever. But yeah, this is what my face looks like after almost 12 hours of wear, and I have to say it's not terrible. And it didn't really start breaking down, I want to say, until probably around 4:45. I started to feel my nose breaking down, and I looked in the mirror and the foundation was gone from my nose. And then a couple of hours later, I started to feel the breakdown on my cheeks. And this is what we have. I think that it still kept a lot more matte than it did the previous time that I wore it. Yeah, and I'm like literally, and it didn't oxidize again today. You know, darker when I wore it before. After a couple hours, it oxidized a bit darker. It didn't do that today. Still very comfortable on the skin. Can't feel it. The scent actually went away today, relatively quickly in comparison to the day before or the last time I wore it. But yeah, I don't think it looks bad at all. I think it actually looks kind of nice. I think if I had repowdered or if I had worn it out, if I had gone out and I needed to repowder, I think it would have looked just fine. But it's not terrible for 11 hours, and it literally only started to look really greasy like this, I want to say maybe around 7 or 8 o'clock. So not bad. Not bad. Hey guys, what up? Welcome back. Happy Saturday. So today is day number 3 of testing the Beige Beauty foundation. Today we're actually going to test it out with the Beige Beauty Changemaker primer. I got the mattifying primer. There are 2 versions. I got the mattifying primer. There is also a hydrating primer for normal to dry skin, and the mattifying primer is for normal to oily skin. These clock in at a cool $38. Wait, is that like $1 less than the foundation? I think so. Yeah. Alright, so like I said, today is day number 3, the last day that we're going to be doing this foundation. I'm going to actually be doing a review of the powder tomorrow, and then that is probably going to be the last video that I do for probably about a month, because we're moving on Monday and, you know, stuff is just, it's going to be a lot. So, yeah, it's probably going to be the last video that I do for a while. Now, today is a perfect day to do it because we've done 2 days already with different primers, so we have a very good base for what to expect from this foundation. So let's see if the primer changes those expectations. So my expectations based on the last 2 days that I've worn it is that it does last for about 4 to 5 hours before it gets oily, and it doesn't sink into lines. It doesn't break down very easily. On one day when I used a more creamy primer with it, it did transfer. When I used it with the Milk Makeup Primer, it did not transfer. So my expectations today are that it's probably going to get oily, but in about 5 hours, 5 maybe to 6 hours. And because I think, well, when I checked this, it's more of a cream-based primer, like the Tatcha Primer, so I'm expecting maybe a little bit of transfer. I'm not sure, but we shall see. Okay, so the primer comes in the same kind of squeeze tube that the foundation comes in. On the front, it'll tell you which one it is. This one says normal to oily skin. I kind of really like this. It reminds me of the Fenty primer in sort like texture almost. So it is pure white. It looks like that. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply it to my skin. It doesn't quite smell like the foundation, but it does have a very nice, clean scent to it though. It's really easy to put on. It spreads really well, and as I'm spreading it, it feels quite cool. And I can also feel my skin getting a little bit more mattified as I'm using it. Ooh, I really like the smell. Alright, so I am back, and while I was waiting for the primer to settle down just a little bit, I went ahead and did my under eye concealer. I am using the Ilia concealer today, mixed in with the darker shade of the Wet n Wild concealer. And now I already have 2 lines on the Ghetto mixing palette. I decided to go with 2 lines because yesterday I realized that I didn't need all 3 lines that I had put on the palette. So, you know, if I need more, I'll do that. But for now, let's just start with 2. Alright, so here's one side of my face with the foundation, the other side without, and already the difference that I'm noticing is that I only needed half of one line so far. I think that has to do with the primer, and I'm also noticing that it's not quite as dewy as it was the last 2 days. Even with the Milk Makeup primer, it was still quite a bit dewy. So I like this better. Alright guys, I am back and I still have pretty much one whole line left on the Ghetto Mixing palette. I do believe that this primer boosts the color of the foundation. It has oxidized, because it does. It has oxidized just slightly though, like the first time, not quite as much. Honestly, I think that I like this foundation enough at this point that I'm probably going to get the lighter shade, the lighter peach shade. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. So this is what we have so far. Same level of coverage that I've achieved for the last 2 days. This foundation is definitely buildable medium coverage. You're not going to get full coverage out of this foundation, I don't believe. And what you guys know that I'm fine with that. So this is my face. What time is it? It is 10, wait. It is 10:22 in the morning. I shall be back here later on so that you guys can see the results of my wear test. I am not doing anything else to my face, except I'm going to probably wind up using the Guerlain powder just to set my face. But yeah, that's pretty much all I'm doing. And we'll be back later on. Hey guys, what up? I am back. It is now it is now 7:45. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yep. It's 7:45 in the evening, and this is what my face looks like. It is not pleasant when I tell you that it is 80 degrees in my house, but it is currently, what's the temperature outside? I don't know. It's not 80 degrees outside, let's put it this way. So the foundation has broken down. How long have I been wearing it? I left here, what, 9:22 this morning, I believe it was. So, a little bit over 10 hours I've been wearing the foundation. And this is what my face looks like. Now, this is not bad for a 10-hour wear, not in the least, and especially since I've been sitting inside all day. And it has been 80 degrees in here all day. So this is definitely not a bad thing at all. However, it oxidized darker again. I was hoping that it would at least stay stable, but it did not. It oxidized again. That doesn't mean anything. I do still like the foundation. Now, the funny thing about the oiliness that's happening on my face here is that I already blotted my face a couple of hours ago, and that came off, and that's another thing. So this foundation does transfer quite a bit. Here we go again. It does transfer quite a bit. The primer doesn't seem to help with that at all. Yeah, so if you're going to get this foundation, know that it does transfer. It doesn't ever seem to set. Okay, so here's the thing about the primer. I actually like the primer. I actually really like the primer. I'm not a fan of mattifying primers in general. I find most of them to be overly drying. I find that they make your skin feel tight when you first put them on. Did not have that problem with this. It has a very odd, well, not odd, it's almost moussey, kind of like the foundation. It's kind of has a moussey texture. And it goes on really nicely. It goes on like a moisturizer, but then you feel your face getting mattified, but it doesn't feel dry and it doesn't feel tight. It just feels very comfortable. And it did take away some of the radiance from the foundation. So I actually do like the primer. I do think though that this foundation, the built-in radiance is just too much even for a mattifying primer. I think any kind of primer that you use with this, you're still going to get the transfer, you're still going to get the oils breaking through simply because of the formula. And I don't know if I would even like it better if the formula were different. I might not. I actually like the formula. I just think that you need to work with it a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I like the color. I like how it feels on my skin. I like how it makes me look. I like that the undertone is pretty damn seamless. I don't care for the fact that it oxidizes, but like I said, I'm going to get the lighter shade, so we gonna work it out. I'm gonna get the lighter shade, but I'm gonna keep this one as well, and maybe mix them. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So I do like this foundation, and I do like the primer. I think I will probably wind up using the primer a lot this summer. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me for my review of the Beige Beauty Changemaker foundation and primer. I do like them. That is my final verdict. I do like both of these products and I will be keeping them. I'm really happy, like straight out of the gate, that Beige Beauty has complexion products that I can use. I thought that was absolutely brilliant of them. And really appreciate the variety in undertones as well as much deeper tones. So yeah, that was kind of awesome, and so I really do like the foundation and the primer, and I will be trying out the powder for you guys next in my next video. And so, as usual, it's been real, it's been fun, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!